How's it going, everybody? Here is day 15, and I'm actually going to wrap up this 30-day challenge early. It's only going to last 15 days, so half the time. And the reason for this is I truly believe I've gotten everything out of this device as a primary device that I can. I don't think I can learn anything more about it, and I'm not sure how much more I can tell you about it that is different from the Wi-Fi only version. So I'm going to cover some positives, cover some negatives, and then at the end I'm going to cover just simply would I recommend the device. Is it something that I feel will work for somebody or really anybody in particular? Alright, so the first thing about it, I'm going to cover the positives, okay? The positives of this device, the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 international version, this is the 5100 version. It's the GNT 5100, I believe is what the version is. Some positives, okay? The functionality. The device works very well. I haven't had any issues with speed or lag that I haven't had on any other device I've had before this. As far as with TouchWiz, with the gallery, yes, that's slow. No, I don't like how it integrates Google Plus photo uploads and that there's a folder for every single one. But that's okay. That's a Samsung thing, and I'm just going to have to deal with that. That's no big deal. There are gallery alternatives out there to download and put on it. The S Pen. Okay, if you have a Note 2, if you have a Note 10.1, or if you have the Wi-Fi version of the Note 8, the S Pen is awesome. I created just a quick little drawing. I was bored. I cut a picture out of my son and me and drew around it a little bit, had some fun with it. I uploaded it to Facebook just because I thought it was pretty cool. That's my son Quincy, and that's me. And it was cool. It was nothing fancy, nothing too much, nothing out of the ordinary. It was pretty fun, pretty easy to do, nothing too bad. The S Pen adds a lot of functionality for note taking. I had a couple meetings related to marketing, related to my small business. The S Pen was a wonderful joy to use. Is there a difference still getting used to writing on a glass screen versus writing on a notebook that's going to give you some feedback? Yes, absolutely there's a difference. It's not that bad though. You can get used to it. It's not that terrible. Another positive for the Note 8 was the speakers. The speakers are loud, they're clear, they're at the bottom of the device, so if you're playing a game, you can cover them up. The speakers at the bottom of the device are here. You got the two speakers right here, and they're flanking the micro USB port. They really are strong speakers. They're solid. I'm not even going to try to do it on the webcam because I know my audio doesn't work great anyway. I need to quit being cheap and just go buy a microphone. But overall, it's really not bad. The speakers are very, very solid. The screen real estate, obviously, 8 inches is probably better than 5. And I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. The screen real estate, okay, TouchWiz. TouchWiz works good for this device. It's not a problem. It's not too big of an issue. It works. The S Note application, as well as the Air View and some of the gestures you can do with the S Pen are great. They're awesome. They work well. They do exactly what they're intended to do. And if you spend a little bit of time in the help section, like I went over in the last video, you're good to go. You're not going to have a problem. The processor and the speed. Okay, the specs are essentially make it a blown up Note 2. I haven't heard too many people complain about the Note 2, so I'm not going to complain about the Note 8. The Note 8 is a very capable device. It's very solid. And truthfully, the screen's not even that bad. What I will do is I will show you real quick. Like I said in the very first video, I have an S4 that I have my business line on right now that I will be going back to once I decide to take my SIM card out of here. So I went to the Yahoo homepage and logged in, okay, just because I just want to see the text, okay? I zoomed in as far as it'll go on either screen, okay? This is the S4, and when you get in really, really close to it, there's going to be a little bit of pixelation, but not much. I mean, you have to really, really get in next to the phone and take a look at it. On the Note 8, you get in really, really close to it, and obviously it's going to reflect a little bit. It's looking at the screen, but a little more rigid, not quite as clear as the S4. But we knew that already. That wasn't a surprise. That isn't something that just jumped out and surprised us. We knew that already. So overall, the strengths of the device: functionality, the S Pen, of course, the speakers, the screen real estate, TouchWiz, the processor and the speed, and the screen's just not that bad. Not only is the real estate added a huge advantage when sitting in a doctor's office, waiting for a meeting, taking notes, the screen real estate is great. Overall, the device, very solid device. I don't have very many issues with it. Those are all my positives. Now to the negatives. Okay, the negatives about the device. We knew this. It's huge compared to a phone. As a tablet, it is a great device. Great size, great usage. I mean, as a tablet, this is a very, very solid and very, very capable device. The problem is, like I've mentioned before, when you have it as a phone, you take it with you. You take it with you everywhere. I have pockets. My pockets are pretty big on some of my dress pants and even some of my shorts. The device will fit in it, but it's not comfortable. And to get it out fast to answer a phone call, it's not quick. It's not something that is ultra easy to do, but that's okay. The portability and the size, those are the only real downfalls for me for this device. I knew probably 6 days in that this was not going to be my primary device after this challenge. Now, clearly, I'm cutting the challenge, by about 50% and cutting it on day 15. But I do have a couple reasons for that as well. The only other issue I had were for coverage. And the coverage, edge speed is edge speed. Okay, you're not getting a whole lot more than edge. I've had the H logo as well as the H Plus logo, so it's supposed to be getting a little bit faster. The absolute fastest speed I got for a download, I believe, was 9 point something megabits per second. That was the fastest I got the whole time, and that was just in one spot here in Columbia, South Carolina. But I don't even have that screenshot, as I've taken everything, taken some of the screenshots off the device. But it wasn't ultra fast, it wasn't super slow, but a lot of times when you're in a market like mine that does not have 4G push to the 1900 megahertz mobile band, you're going to be suffering a little bit. Okay, the fastest one I got this on June 18th, was 9.32 megabits a second down and 2.79 megabits per second up. Had a ping of 617, which seems a little slow, but it wasn't, the device overall is not terrible, okay? Being stuck on edge speeds and essentially G speeds are terrible. If you're in a larger market, okay, I'm going to put a link to the map that I'm looking at. If you're in a larger market, okay, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in Charlotte, even if you're up in Greenville, or if we go down the East Coast a little bit more, there's some spots in Charleston, Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, places like that. And we'll see some other big cities. Nashville has some. The Dallas-Fort Worth area is covered with it. Tulsa, Oklahoma has some. Nashville, Kansas City, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Columbus, Pittsburgh, the entire DC area, Baltimore, all through New York, all through Boston, all through Detroit. All of these places run, T-Mobile runs some 4G on their 1900 megahertz band. And like I said, I'll include the link. It's airportal.de, and that shows, it's brought to you by Simple Mobile, which is a prepaid provider who uses AT&T and T-Mobile bands, and you basically get to choose which one that you use. So we're getting close to 10 minutes here, and I don't want to go over 15. Would I recommend this device? The simple answer and the truth of the matter is yes. Absolutely, I would recommend this device. Is it for everybody? No, it's not. It's just not. It's not for me. It doesn't work for me. Although I am a small business owner, I have found that the device adds more inconvenience than it adds added feature. That's for me. Who do I think would benefit from a device like this? College kids. If you're a college kid, you're probably on a budget. Regardless how much money your parents have, you are probably on a budget. Small business owners. If all you do is your small business, which I'm not fortunate enough to do that yet, because I'm not making the money in my small business yet, I have to work full time. So I don't need this as a sole device. Somebody with poor eyesight. If you have poor eyesight, whether it's an older person who's just trying to learn a smartphone or something of that nature, this device will work for you. Now, it might be a little heavy when you go to lift it up to your ear and hold it, and you might look a little ridiculous, as people have pointed out and laughed at me. But that's okay. The device is a very solid device. And for I think it's $570-ish on eBay, and I mean, you can pay much more than that, but some of the better ones, brand new, around $570. That's the same price that you're paying for a new Note 2, S4. You're paying that same ballpark for that. So people say, oh, it's $570 something for a tablet. No, it's not. It's $570 something for a phone that happens to be the size of a tablet with all the functionality of a phone. So that argument just doesn't really hold weight with me when, oh, it's too much. If you're just using it as a tablet, it might be a little much for just a tablet, but that's what the Wi-Fi only version is for, and that's $399. So if you're in big cities that have that 1900 band that's getting pushed, some of that 4G, then great. Then the device is going to work for you. Also, if you have big hands, which I do, so the device doesn't really bother me too much, yes, I'd recommend it, absolutely. College kids especially for note-taking, stuff of that nature. But overall, it's a very solid device. What I'm going to be doing now, after this, because I do kind of like doing these videos for YouTube, because I feel like I'm helping somebody out a little bit, is I'm going to go back to my Galaxy S4. Okay, well, it's on T-Mobile as well. But I also have this really cool power bank extended battery. It's 3,200 milliamp hours. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge them both up completely. And I'm going to see how long I can go before it dies. So we'll see how long I can last. I also purchased a while ago a $26 phone. It might have been $29.99. It is the Tank phone from Blue. And as you guys might know, Blue makes some pretty cool Android phones. They're a small company who is trying to make it in with the big dogs by selling phones off contract. And it's actually a dual SIM phone. So if you look at it, you're like, wow, this is a flashback. This is a dumb phone. Why would he go from a Note 8 to a little phone like this? Well, here's my reasoning. This is going to be my business phone. I can do everything else from my Galaxy S4, and I'm going to have the extra battery. So there's really not a need for me to have two smartphones, two Android phones, two Android devices, a phone and a tablet and a phone. There's just not a need for it. So I'm going to go with that with my small business, and I will definitely follow up and kind of let you guys know just on reception and whatnot. One thing I wish about the Galaxy S4 is I wish it was dual SIM. If it was dual SIM and I could put both of my SIM cards in it, I'd only need one device. I'm going to have to go get on the internet and check and see if there's any dual SIM ones out there that Samsung's made. My guess is no, just because it would kind of cannibalize some of their sales if somebody likes it enough to buy two of them. But that's it. That's kind of where I am. That's the end of the Galaxy Note 8 challenge. Right here. It's an awesome device. I'll probably be selling it here soon. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. My 2-year-old loves it, so who knows? That's my kid. But I'm going to get on to bigger and better things. Get on to focusing on my business more. Use this cool little Blue Tank phone. I'm going to jump back to 2003 on us here. And just kind of see where we go from here. So for all of you that have followed me for the last couple weeks here on YouTube, for those of you that have me circled on Google+, or you have my friends on Facebook, or on Twitter, you have me following, you're following me, or vice versa. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and move on to bigger and better things again. Thank you so much. I'll keep posting videos. They're just not going to be about the Note 8 anymore. So lots of positives, very few negatives, and yes, I would recommend it. So this is Andrew Darling. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.